This is Paige,
Sal,
and
Lydia
from Precious Pearl Photography. This is Celeste. She's our business owner, face of the business, photographer, and just all-round cool gal.
We try.
She looks after all of us, and she's the face of our brand, and you know, she's the reason that we're all here today.
And this is Paige, our lovely, well, she's my co-manager, I guess to everyone else, she's the manager, and she's amazing. So she's come in about a year and a half ago now and has just taken the reins and turned this business into absolute beauty. Without her, I wouldn't probably still be here today, because she's just come in and seen everything that needed to be kind of revised and made better, and she's just taken it and run with it and made it absolutely amazing. So she looks after our whole team. She's always behind the scenes managing everyone, making sure everyone's doing what they are meant to do, but also being that loving, beautiful, warm, happy face every day to encourage people, uplift them, and keep them on the, you know, on the road. And she's also a photographer, so she takes our photos in the studio, at the beach. She's very talented, very creative. She's given me the inspiration for making sure that our babies look like burritos, so I've kind of stolen that from her. But
Little baby burritos.
Baby burritos, and she's very good at doing that. And very, creative. She's always got a different take on how she sets up her shoots, and you know, something that I wouldn't do. So that's the other beautiful thing, is like we're also different here, so you get a different look every time you come in, but it keeps the boho theme, but you've got that little extra, you know, incentive with Paige. She makes everything very special. What else do? You do a lot. I think we could go on all day, but she helps with, you know, the marketing, making the business grow behind the scenes as well. And this whole video and answering these questions was her idea. So that's what I love. It's about, you know, how can we make this business better, and she's got the brains for that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, thanks, Sal. And do you want to introduce Lydia as well?
And Lydia, she's our little beautiful newbie, but we absolutely love her. She's come in and she's just already making this business beautiful as well. So she's going to be looking after clients very specifically. So you're going to see a lot of Lydia, you know, face to face, and you know, looking after you with taking you through your beautiful photos, and being able to, you know, showcase, you know, everything that's been created for you, and she'll be able to walk you through all of our products and, you know, really help you to feel really at home. She's got a very amazing personality, a great accent. I can't stop listening to it, so I think you'll enjoy it as well. And yeah, she just, again, brings that beautiful warmth, and she has a smile that will light the room. So you're going to love her, and yeah, it's just very exciting to have you on board.
Yeah, and having a background in photography and media herself, she's got a real understanding of the value of what we provide here, which is why she's such a perfect fit for you guys. And she's genuinely passionate about our products the same way that we are. That, you know, we always say we are a product-based business, even though we really understand that everybody wants the digital photos too, and of course we provide that. But it is for us all about having the products, isn't it? And Lydia's very, very great at helping you design and curate a collection that's great for you.
And have to throw in a little backstory because it's just for fun. But like when Paige and I sat down on a marketing night, we were like, you know, just things aren't 100% where we want them to be. We just need that new person. And where's Lucy? If you don't know who Lucy is, she worked with us for a while, and we absolutely miss her, and we've just kind of not had our Lucy for a while. And so we're kind of like, where's our next Lucy, you know? And so we were basically sitting down and said, you know, let's look at some resumes and things like that. And then I said, you know what I just want? I just want one of those like Lucy's where they send through the video and you just know, and you just want to hire them straight away. So lo and behold, we looked at one of the resumes and it said Lydia, and we looked through it and we read it and we're like, this is really good, let's message her. And then we went to message her and realized we had an email from her with a video in it, and it was absolutely perfect. And I was just like, see, that was exactly what I needed. So it was just off the bat, like we just knew, and it all teed up perfectly. And it was like, the day before that you'd sent
And she had said she worked at Disney.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, sold. That is just in the bag.
I remember applying for the Disney program and seeing like how much that people who work for Disney, you know, are taught to love and look after their clients.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, do you want to say a little bit about what you learned about client relationships in Disney?
That was cool.
Yeah, so working at Disney especially, it's all about, you know, creating those magical moments, having those connections with people, and kind of no matter what role you're working in, you get to make their day special in some way, which is really amazing. And it's kind of what I was most passionate about that I learned when I was at Disney, and it's something that I've been able to bring with me, of course, here and in everything I do. That's kind of my favorite part, is getting to connect with people and meet beautiful families. And of course, I like going through the photos as well, because I'm a photographer, so I get very wrapped up in like, oh, look how nice the lighting is in this one and all that stuff as well. But yeah, getting to meet everyone and chat to you all is really nice for me.
Yeah, one of those people who genuinely loves meeting people, and it's not just some like throwaway line. Like, it's just so true.
I guess I should fit in and make this work.
What makes Precious Pearl a luxury brand? Who wants to go first?
I'm happy to give that one a
take the row.
Yeah. I guess with Precious Pearl, you know, this is my little, I guess you could say my fourth baby. I've got 3 kids and this is my fourth. Yeah. So, you know, I absolutely love what I do. It's my passion, and, you know, everyone that's on the team is, you know, a big part of what makes Precious Pearl so special and luxury. So, you know, looking at luxury, we kind of think of something that's really kind of big, special, shiny. That's not necessarily how I view luxury, although those things are very nice in life, having nice cars, nice homes. But I think luxury, it's, you know, something that kind of warms the heart, and it makes you feel like, you know, for you, what's your luxury? So for us, you know, it would be our family, our friends, those sorts of things. And, you know, that's what Precious Pearl is about. It's about capturing your family in the most special ways that kind of make you feel like the whole world is, you know, more beautiful for it, and you can look at those photos for the rest of your life and love them. So I think luxury, like, it's such a unique word, but really there's so much behind it, and it's individual to every person what they kind of want to take away from Precious Pearl and what we capture for you. But in saying that, yeah, we have our perks. So we've got, you know, a beautiful client wardrobe. We have, you know, the ability to come in and just relax on this couch and make a day of it, to, yeah, put your feet up, as it were, to be with those that you love, and to just capture you in your most rawest form. With your kids, you know, everyone's always worried, you know, how are my kids going to behave and what's going to happen on the day. But I think that's the beauty of it, is you are who you are, and your kids are who they are. So it's about coming together and just creating those memories. And then, you know, we want to treat you. So having those beautiful outfits, having, you know, lunch on us for the day, and being able to see your photos on the exact same day.
That's something that's really special and that not many photographers do.
Yeah.
So Lydia, who is our viewing appointment sales associate, she's the one here to like help you go through all of your photos, make sure that you get the best possible value for what is right for you, because it's so hard to make a photography package that you can just write on a page and be like, here's our prices.
Yeah.
Because there's no one size fits all, right? So, you know, we do a bit of a ballpark situation for you guys, and then that can seem like we're trying to be vague or confusing, and that's not the case at all. It's just that it's literally so customizable, and Lydia is the one here to help you go through that process and design something for you. So she has probably a very interesting take on what makes Precious Pearl a luxury brand as well.
Yeah, I think here especially luxury for us really means being cared for and cultivating that whole experience from start to finish for everyone who comes through the door. Yeah. As you've been saying, it's not one size fits all, so it really depends on what each client coming in needs.
Yes.
And we're going to guarantee, of course, an amazing experience for everybody. We have our kind of framework of getting your wardrobing, getting your shoot done, getting your meal as you get to go through all your photos, which is always the most exciting part for me, because that's when I usually get to meet people and go through all the pretty photos with them. But it really is kind of a start to finish full experience. It's not just, okay, let's point and click, take a few photos, here's your digitals, you're good to go, never see you again, goodbye. Yeah. It really is a full experience that we get to join you for, and really care for what you need from start to finish.
Between all of us, we have, you know, 30 years of photography experience. Celeste is very, very experienced in newborn safety, and she's done lots of courses in making sure that there's, you know, 2 hands on baby all the time, and that there's lots of care and love and created in these images without sacrificing the safety of the child.
Absolutely.
And that's something that, you know, she teaches to us as photographers, you know, to make sure that firstly we don't have any accidents, because we don't want that too, but also when you come in you can feel relaxed knowing that your baby's in safe hands. And also the experience that I have is, you know, over 15 years experience in a very wide variety of photography. So that means that like my creative eye is different to Celeste's.
Yes.
So that means that you're just going to get like a really, really awesome amalgamation of experience that you might not get going to an independent photographer that doesn't have so many inputs and a deep well of knowledge and education that comes into the brand. And that makes us luxury.
Okay, so we're going to talk about why we don't sell loose digital images, and just to clarify what that is for those who don't quite understand that term, essentially we're talking about a digital file, something that you can either see on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. We're in a very digital age, and while we love and appreciate that digitals are essential and important, we want to kind of walk through why we don't necessarily like to sell them by themselves as the only format that we offer. So how about we take that away with Lydia?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, as we mentioned, I'm very passionate about the products that are here. We have a lot of different options for you to display these images in your home in a way that's going to be really special. So it gives you something that you can actually tangibly see and feel in your home, that you can walk by and it'll make you smile, versus, you know, having just the digital image that maybe you put it on Instagram, it doesn't get as many likes as you want it to get, and then forever that image is tarnished because, you know, you didn't quite hit that benchmark. So we always just love that you can have something that is really personal, really special to you. I also just like the idea of having something you can kind of show off in your home. When guests come over, they can be like, oh, look how beautiful your family is, and you know, you can kind of flip your hair and show off your family photos. But
I love that.
Yeah, I really like having that kind of personal touch of having a curated product in your home versus just I'll throw it on Instagram or something like that.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything to add to that?
I guess that's pretty much covered it. But I think ultimately, that's really what it is. Behind every photo that you see is a world of expertise. There's a world of creativity and knowledge that's gone into that image. And, you know, for us to just kind of give that to you, it feels so cheap to just hand it to you on a USB or a link that you can download. And I think just in this technological age, we're just so used to seeing everything online and, you know, everything being accessible so easily, and downloading and saving and print screening, that we just forget that, you know, what is the beauty behind that image? It's to be displayed and to be valued and appreciated and to be hung up on the mantelpiece, as it were. And I think Lydia's kind of said the same thing. But I guess just essentially for us, we want you to feel and hold what we've created for you.
I think there is definitely a misconception out there about this notion of digitals will be cheaper.
Correct.
So when you have a professional service that creates a whole setup for you, we're not charging you for the piece of paper that we printed on. It's for all the expertise and all the education and all the love that goes into creating that photo. And the reason you want digital photos is because it has that versatility and value to you. So that's why we charge more for a digital photo than we would for a print. And we understand that doesn't really make sense to a lot of people. So the way we do it is that we just give you the matching digital file anytime you purchase a product.
Correct.
And then we do that so that you're not feeling like you're having to pay extra for the digital file. We know that we're making sure that that image is going to be treasured and valued, and that also it's going to have like a lifelong life.
I know what you're trying to say.
A lifelong memory. So, you know, we want to make sure that you have invested enough that this is something special to you, and that you're not just going to go and print it out at Kmart and then the colours are bad and then, you know, it doesn't work. You know, if you go and we want you to reprint it and redistribute it and use it for Christmas cards, and you know, maybe you do want to put it up on a big canvas sometime in the future, but we want to make sure you've invested enough in the image that you get it printed correctly to do the photo justice.
Correct.
That's right.
That's spot on.
So we can do, if you are buying individual products, you'll get a matching digital file. We do have digital only packages, but you'll find that they're not like loose digitals. They will be, you know, 12 or more digital photos, so that you are making an investment with us.
So I guess to clarify, and this is the point I like to really rub at home, that people understand this, because we just don't want anyone walking away going, I'm not going to them, because they don't give you any digital images at all. And like, even though Paige has said it 1,000,001 times in different ways, it's still amazing how people don't hear, and they just hear, therefore, because we're not heaps passionate about the loose digitals, that therefore maybe they don't come with it and they're still confused even after all of that. So we like to make sure that people do fully understand that we're not saying there are no digital files with Precious Pearl, but that they come complementary with the purchase of products. And so essentially when you're investing in a collection, which is perhaps an album or a frame package or a box of prints, we are selling you those individual products, but we're also going to give you those matching files that come with it, so that if that starts from say 6 photos, 12 photos, 18 photos up to 50 photos, we're going to be giving you both. So you get the best of both worlds with us, which is amazing. And we just want to really make sure that people understand that we're not trying to take them away altogether, but we're just saying they kind of come in that kind of package deal. Yeah.
So pick a product, get the matching file.
Yeah.
If you purchase a collection, you'll have more digitals included, because people do have family overseas, and people do have restrictions with renting and might want to do something down the track. So definitely want to be accessible and have your photos forever, because there are things that can happen to physical products. So it's definitely important to have the digital photos, but it's not, we wouldn't want you to have just digital photos.
So we'll talk a little bit about how we figure out what to charge. And this is something that I'm not really in charge of, so to speak. So I definitely want to hear more about that from you, Paige, if you could elaborate.
Absolutely. So this is something that's probably interesting for our clients, but most interesting for other photographers and other small business owners is how to work out what to charge. And we always get questions of how do you come up with that pricing? And we don't just pull a number out of our butt and be like, wouldn't it be great if we charged $250 for a photo? It's literally you work out what your cost of doing business is. So you have to sit down when you start a business and then add to it as you grow and you get more expenses and more wages and more bigger spaces, and you want to provide a service. So you write out a list of everything you want your clients to experience in your luxury brand. Then you have to add in insurance and education and obviously your day-to-day things. Plus you're a business, you have to make profit. So you have to work out what your time is worth as well. So you add all of that up and what that would cost you in a year. And then you divide it by the amount of clients that you can, and this is the key, you can serve well within 1 week. So you can definitely get that price way down if you say, well, I'm going to photograph 20 clients in a week. But you might be able to do that, but if you do that and you aren't set up for doing 20 clients in a week and have 20 editors and 20 Lydias and
I need 20 Lydias,
then those clients are going to suffer, and they're not going to get the value for your service, even though they've paid less. So you're better off, what can I do well so that I can provide the experience I want my clients to have? And for us, that's between 6 to 8 photo shoots a week. So we divide that by 8 per week, and that's what we have to make per session. So we know what our literal cost is, and I think we worked out it's about $500 just to get someone through the door. And then you've got to, of course, add on your profit, you've got to add on products, and then I guess the bigger the package is, the more value and the more work that goes into it. So we know that we're not covering your cost of coming through with a $250 sale, but it also has to I suppose balance out over everyone over the year. So if someone spends $1,500, we'll cover someone that spends $250. Or if someone does buy an elaborate wall art and sort of spends the $3,000 plus mark, then that's when we are starting to do well as a business, and we can take that profit and we can grow. So I think the important thing to note is when you are purchasing a large package, that we don't want you to think about what is this buying the business. We want you to think what the value is to you. You're not buying Celeste a new house. You're not buying me a jet ski. And you're not buying Lydia a trip to the Amazon. It's literally you're paying for dance classes and for food and for rent and for a bus ticket.
It's really not that elaborate.
So everything that goes into the business feeds the business to make it grow. It's not. Of course you have to make profit, and I'm a firm believer in that saying of profit's not a dirty word. Yeah, that you can't grow as a person, as a business, you know, and you're not respected as well if you're not making profit. So, you know, that's an important part of it too.
I think the bigger picture behind it is, all the things the clients don't see, but I think that's the things that I tend to try to avoid touching base on, because I think for clients, it's not ultimately the bee's knees to know every little tiny, you know, what do they call it, thing behind it.
But just a few in the spirit, like, you know, we're talking about like we have to get a skip every 3 months, like, you know, things that you wouldn't even think of that you need as a business. So maybe let's like
skip bins things cost you about $300 to $500, and they're really annoying. I hate them, but you have to throw your rubbish out. Hey, so no, but I think ultimately, like, you know, we've got a team here, so that's some things that people don't know is like they might meet me on the day, and we may have Cassie here or Paige here, but ultimately everyone's behind the scenes doing their own thing. So we've got Atalia, who's been with us the most long-standing, I think almost 5 or something years now. So she's our editor. She's absolutely amazing, and just to kind of show you, I guess, what's behind it is she's the one who literally, you know, takes all your photos and makes them magical. So, you know, that's just one person, but I think there's around 10 of us now off the top of my head. And we all work together to make Precious Pearl what it is. And, you know, I guess that's just something that, you know, we're not just, it's not just Celeste, or it's not even just Celeste and Paige, you know, we're a big team, and, you know, that does cost money, but we want those things there because, one, it gives you the ability to have everything kind of in that quick turnaround. So, you know, where a photographer reaching out, you know, I went to the Medieval Fair recently and we had a little mini photo shoot with our kids, and, you know, it's been like a fair amount of time now, and I'm still following her up being like, when can I see the photos? So it's just, you know, because they're so much smaller, it's harder for them to keep up to date, and we just have that really quick turnaround time where you're seeing your photos the same day, if not within 2 weeks for a beach shoot, and then, you know, really your photos are going to be with you within about a week and a half digitally, and then your product's around that 4 to 6 weeks mark, and that's just not something that, you know, every photographer can give. So I think those little things is important, just to see the reason why we charge what we charge is because there's a big mighty beast behind it making it work.
We're a company, we're not an individual photographer, so that means that we have more availability for you to come through. You know, you'll see photographers all over TikTok and Instagram be like, okay, don't ring me when you're 8.5 months pregnant and say you want a newborn shoot because I'm booked out. Okay, so for us, I mean, that's a little bit true, but like at the same time we can normally do a squeeze in somewhere because we have 7 photographers.
Exactly.
And we have, you know, we have got the ability to make room for our clients, and
which is really nice. It's rewarding.
And just like Celeste said, the reliability. If someone gets sick or goes through a personal drama or something, it's not going to affect you as clients, other than maybe like a few days or a week. The one thing we can't control is the weather. So
I wish we could, but out of our hands.
But everything else, you know, we've got backups on backups on backups.
And I think if, you know, anyone kind of is interested to know, just for fun, Google research, a bit of fun, you know, if you go away and you really do want to understand it, you know, just do a quick research, you know, into what is a photographer's back-end cost. It's very interesting because the list is quite long and tedious, and it's amazing. You just wouldn't think about it. And there are so many other companies, I guess, in the world that we do tend to have a little bit more appreciation for. And I think photographers are one of those ones that get left on the back burner a little bit, because realistically, as a client, all you see is that finished photo, and the value for you is going into that image or the selection of images that you have, and you're going, but I paid this for that. And I think having a little bit of a back end look into photographers' costs is just insightful, and it does help.
It's also why you can't compare different photographers with each other. So you can't compare, you know, we get a lot of, there's another boho studio that charges less. We'll go to them. Because the thing is that it's not going to be the same service. It literally can't be.
No.
Because, like, if it was the same, it would be costing them the same, and they would have to charge what we charge. Correct. I promise you, we're not whacking, like, thousands of dollars of profit on it. It is literally cost of business. So. Okay, so we're going to talk about what we mean when we say we're going to customize packages. So if you've spoken to us on the phone and you're doing a little bit of research, you've come across this video and you've thought, oh, that's a bit vague, I wonder why they can't give me an exact price. This is about that. I thought that, you know, there's no one size fits all. That's our theme of today's video. But, you know, we'd love to go into it a little bit deeper about what we can do around customization. So, you know, Lydia does our viewing appointments, so she might be a good one to kick it off.
Yeah, thank you. So I get the pleasure of getting to go through your photos with you and showing you all the amazing products that you have the option to take home with you. So we have, of course, our collections that we curate kind of with everyone in mind of what we think will be the most value for you so that you can have things to display in your home. But of course, within that, we understand everyone has different situations at home, different places they want to display their photos. So we give a lot of options to kind of mix and match to customize which products you get to take home with you. So that way you're really getting something that you're going to value for your home, that you actually want to have on display, and you have a piece of art that you get to take home as well. You know, it's not just, oh, we took family photos. It's, no, I have this beautiful framed piece of art in my home. So yeah, we want to make sure you have the options to really get what you want out of this experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we try our best to do kind of like, I think we have 7 or 8 like packages, and then we build on it from there. So that kind of gives us a ballpark on like cost and value, and then we can change products out. So like for some example of some common ideas might be, say that you want 25 photos and that comes in the linen box collection, but you really don't care about the linen box and you kind of feel like, well, why am I going to pay all this money for something I don't even want? So we would change out the box for something that you love more. So if you feel like you would get more value out of an album, or like if you wanted matted art prints so you can do like a collage up on your wall, then definitely happy to customize with that. And then there's also the like, would you like fries with that kind of, you know, upsell thing. So, you know, at the end of the day, we are a business and we are making a sale here for you. And, you know, we don't hide that. We're not like smarmy, slick black salesmen that are trying to get you to envision your life driving down the road with the wind in your hair. But, you know, we do want you to imagine what your photos will look like on your wall. And that is literally because maybe you can't imagine it. And maybe you thought you were going to come in and just get digital photos and they were going to sit in a USB, and then they're not doing any value to you sitting in the drawer. So that's why we have so many products here that you can choose from. And they're all interchangeable because we just can't write 700 different packages. It would just be too confusing. So we just do it when you come in. So, you know, if you want to add a few more photos to your package, but you really like the glass ice blocks or the wooden circle or some sort of tabletop product over like a large frame, or if you wanted like just the large frame but not as many photos, you know, it just gives us a lot of flexibility to make your package work and make you feel like you're walking away with the best possible value.
That's great.
Did you want to add anything to that?
I think that's really covered it. I think that's good.
There's nothing worse than people walking away and feeling like that was really expensive. Because expensive is such a relative term. Like if you spend $100 on a car, that's cheap, but if you spend $100 on a pack of gum, that's expensive. So it's about the value that you assign to it. So I think that helps with the customizable packages, that if you are customizing the photos to make sure that you're feeling like you're getting the best possible value, you're going to walk away thinking that was a really great experience, not geez, that was expensive.
Correct. And I think, putting that value behind, yes, your physical takeaway, but also, that day was very special and exciting and memorable for you. And I think it's the same as, paying for Disney, we have an experience that we really can't take much away from, maybe a handful of snaps on our phones, but it's the memory, that feeling that we had when we were together and the fun, and that's an investment in itself. So I think taking away that whole big picture is really nice and sentimental. So.
I think that might be a good jump off point to kind of the somewhat tetchy issue of why we don't allow like phone calls and video video calls within our viewing appointments because, you know, very sadly, sometimes we do have people, you know, we come to an agreement in, you know, our viewing appointment and everyone's loving the photos, having the whole experience, and then they walk away and, you know, it's usually the mum or the uncle or someone that isn't our client, hasn't been involved in the whole experience, and says, why would you spend your money on that? Because they're not our client. They don't have a newborn baby. They don't have, come here and have that experience, have that bonding session and see all the beautiful photos. So they can't understand the investment. Often when they see them a few weeks later, they think, oh, actually this was really great.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know if you wanted to elaborate a little bit just on that particular section, because we have had a few questions about why we do that.
Well, it's the thing, isn't it? If you go on the roller coaster at Disneyland and then you had a great time, and then, you know, Grandma Jo was down watching from a distance, or maybe not even there, went to the bathroom, and then you're kind of like, I paid, you know, such and such for that experience, but they didn't feel that experience and they weren't there to, you know, really appreciate it, and so for them they might think that's a waste of money. Why would you do that? And I think that's ultimately exactly what just Paige said in a different way. But, you know, experience is something personal, and also it's something that means something to you. So if you are someone who is quite easily influenced by outside sources or family members, I think that's important for you to know walking in, that you have a bit of a backbone behind you as to what you're doing, and also consciously deciding, you know, in and of yourself what you want out of it. You know, sometimes you can't do that in advance. Sometimes it's something that, when you're here, you go, you know what, I plan to do this, A, B, or C, but I ended up doing this because, and then making that because a part of you that, you know, that's your decision, so that when you leave Precious Pearl, you're not going like, oh, you know, Grandma Jo is going to tell me in my ear that I shouldn't have done that. It's like, well, you can be confident and you can be really happy that you've done that because you really loved being here. And it's very easy as people to be influenced by the outside. And I think just having that bit of a backbone before you come in, and that's why these videos hopefully are helpful for those who are thinking of coming in, just to be like aware that, you know, you may actually not make the decision that you intended to make when you come in. And that's simply because you're just going to see things that, you know, it's tangible and you can touch and feel the beautiful leathers and, you know, see the canvases popping off the walls, and it's just one of those things you ultimately fall in love with how you could display your photos, and that's exciting. And so you want to feel confident that when you walk away you've made a great decision and that you're happy with that. And if, you know, Grandma Jo comes in and says, I don't think that was good value, you can say, well, that's my personal experience that I've had, and to me this is value and I've really enjoyed this experience, so I'm not going to let someone take that joy away from me. And I hope that helps you guys, because I just think it's something that's individual and personal to each client that comes through our door. So
look, we understand it can be a little bit tricky that, you know, you don't want to make financial decisions without your husband, and we definitely are not encouraging like a sneakiness.
No.
So that's why we say it's so important that you try and bring, you know, your partners with you. And that if you can't, then you guys need to have that discussion before you come in about finances, because I mean it's just the boring thing in our contract is that once you come in you won't be allowed to contact. And I know that sounds, it's not like we're imprisoning you and you can't leave and you can't call your husband. It's literally just because only the people at the sales appointment can make a decision about the sale, and we sort of feel like that's relatively self-explanatory, but you know, it is an awkward conversation to have in the moment. So I think that's just important to know.
And I think we've said that it's literally, the line is all decision makers need to be present. So if you're the decision maker in your home, that should remain the same when you're here. So I think ultimately if your husband's happy to send you off and make that decision, then be confident in that and not worried about what he might say or think, because ultimately he's sent you here to make that decision on the behalf of all of you. And so I think just keeping that in the
and we can be very respectful of budgets and things as well. Like definitely. We're not here to like hard sell you. Like of course we're going to ask you and you know, we're going to try and give you as much photos as we possibly can within your budget, whether that means, you know, maybe doing a payment plan or you know, doing some sort of arrangement with us that, you know, you can get what you want, even if you're spending perhaps a little bit more than you expected. Or if you say, look, you know, my partner said that I can spend $2,000 and that's really the limit, then, you know, we respect that too.
Absolutely.
We're not going to ask you to go against that, as long as you guys have had that chat and have had a look at our price list before you come in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if I could expand on that a little bit
go
more, so as you were saying, people coming in with kind of an idea, a game plan of what they want to do, of course, you haven't seen kind of the full possibilities. That's part of what we get to do, is show you all the different possibilities that you can go home with. So we really invite you to come in and be open and just enjoy the experience of it. And like we do, we respect that there are budgets, there are other things to consider, but you know, we really want to give you that full service experience. So try as best you can to be open and to enjoy it and kind of be along for the ride as well.
I think wiggle room is the key.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll talk next about how you can get the most value out of your sessions with us. So if Paige, you want to start on that one?
Absolutely. So there's a few ways of booking a session with Precious Pearl. We have quite a few different ways that people come through to us. And obviously, just like anything, like booking a hotel, it's always best to book direct through the business. If you book direct through the business, you're going to be rewarded with lots of extra value. You're going to have quite a few different options as far as, you know, your initial session fee. So sometimes you can pay a little bit more, but it will be cheaper to buy like a more expensive session than to purchase photos after. So that is a really good way to get a bit of extra value for your session, is to buy a session that includes things. So especially if you're a person that knows that you, for example, our $395 session, that's kind of like our standard base, all of our photo shoots are $395. If you come through the website, that $395 includes an 11x14 matted art print. I may as well get one of those. That's this size. So you've already got some wall art included. So it's like, by the time you put a frame around this, you know, that's a really good size for the wall. So if you're wanting something that is for the wall, definitely the $395. And then we have a $495 option that includes 2 digital photos, an 11x14, a matte art print, and a glass ice block as well. So I'm sure we'll show you a glass ice block some other time. But basically it's a nice acrylic desktop piece. It's very popular for offices and bookcases. So that's one way of getting a lot of value. The other way to get value is not about like how much stuff can I get. It's about value of your experience. So if you come and you just have fun and you just enjoy it for what it is, and you worry about like, oh, well, what products and everything I'm going to get after, you're going to get more value, because we're going to have more fun, we're going to take more photos, we're going to do more setups, and you're going to have a larger gallery and some really candid, beautiful, connected moments. And that's what we strive for as photographers, we want you to just forget about, you know, what it's going to look like on the wall for a second, even though that's what we've been talking about this whole time. It's like, but during the actual shoot, we want you to be in the moment, and we want you to forget that we're here.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know,
ultimately it's not about us at all. Like, you know, yes, we've got to run our business, but this is about you guys and making this, you know, just an amazing experience. And so it's like, how can I get more out of it than just some photos? So quite often, especially with the newborns, sometimes it's the first time people have left their house with their newborn baby. So quite often this is a really great bonding experience, you know, especially for dad as well, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, dad is, you know, taking over with some of the sleeping and things, but especially if you're breastfeeding, sometimes dad isn't having as much like connectedness in those kind of first few weeks, and you're just, especially if it's your first baby, you're all just learning together. So you can come here and, you know, us holding like 8 babies a week and hearing all different you know, stories, like we might have some really great tips for you and, you know, help you with like settling and you know, lots of different information. Celeste has 3 kids of her own, so there's so many different ways you can get value out of a session. So the absolute best way is to just come and have fun and enjoy it and see what happens. Yeah, that's true. I often get the joke of, you know, I'm wrapping the baby and they're like, oh, if only we could wrap our baby like that every night, then it would sleep. You know, obviously the way you wrap a baby in a photo shoot is not ideal for like sleeping. We definitely don't recommend that as a take home, but it is comical, and it's nice to see that people appreciate, you know, in that moment that, you know, finally my baby's going to sleep, you know, if only I had Celeste around. So it's a good, like, and it's just a good bonding time. Like we have a lot of fun, and you know, all of us are very relatable, personable, very down to earth. I think that's the other thing, is like we're not a typical stock standard, you know, like photography studio as such with, you know, the big scary lights and black and white walls. You know, we are very like homely, friendly, very boho relaxed, and so that carries through in our personalities here as well. So we're very much about having a good old yarn. I think the amount of times that I'll, you know, half an hour later realise we've been chatting about some holiday or some experience, or, you know, how to change nappies, and yeah, it's just been like kind of a coffee catch up at the same time as a photo shoot. So that's definitely an element of value that, you know, you come away. I make friends with my clients all the time, so yeah, it's nice.
And you know, it means that the photos just end up looking so effortless. So,
yeah,
you know, if you put them up, even though they have such a professional look to them, and there's no way you could take it like that on your iPhone.
No.
It's also like, if you put it up, it also doesn't seem like, oh, you've gone to some studio. Like you can pass it off as like, you know, woke up like this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways you can get value. Obviously, payment plans is another way.
Yes.
You can definitely get, for example, with our album collection, just because the way that fees with payment plans work, if you end up using a payment plan, you actually upgrade your album. So there's lots of little tricks that we know about that, and Lydia knows about that, and so there's lots of ways you can add value to your packages themselves as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to add, or think that's pretty?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it very well, both of you together. I would just kind of piggyback on what Celeste was saying about, you know, you've already invested the time, the money to come here to do this shoot with your family, so really enjoy it. Let yourself actually have fun with the experience and get to know us as we get to know you, and that'll give you a lot more of that kind of full experience that we hope that you'll have when you come and do a shoot with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Maybe you could squeeze a little extra value out of the lunch as well.
Yeah, we feed you here. So.
We're a bit of a soft touch when it comes to, oh, can I have, you know, some chips as well? Can I, you know?
Oh yeah, you can have fries with that. That's fine. Add a coffee, add a Pepsi, whatever you like.
So definitely like use it as a special occasion, because you know, you might not be getting out of the house much for the next few months, so definitely use it as a little date night, especially if you have a viewing appointment. You know, leave the kids at home and come and get something that you might not normally order.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of fun. So we're going to now talk about if we can get all the digitals. Is that a thing?
Question.
Yes, is that a thing that I can do here? And yeah, so Paige, take it off.
We often get that question, can I just get all the digitals? This is the bane of every photographer's existence. I think it comes from the misunderstanding of what people mean by all the digitals. Yes, you can get digital photos. Yes, you can get a large amount of digital photos. Can you get all the digital photos? No. And the reason being is that I promise you do not need 400 to 700 photos of your baby being like, this way, this way, this way. And then like this hand, this hand, this hand, this hand. Because it's fun to look at them on the screen all at once and then pick, okay, that's the best one. Because it is amazing how much like a millimetre of difference can change like the expression and the overall feel of a photo. And when you're here and you see your baby wrapped up like your cute little baby burrito, you're just going to want all of them. But that's why we're here to help you narrow it down to your absolute favourites, because the thing is, there's more value and there's more appreciation in the simplicity in collection. If you have really your absolute favourites, then you know that you have made a very educated decision.
Correct.
And you know, you haven't just gone, oh, I want 200 photos on a USB. So I think our maximum collection has 65 digital images in it. Comes with you know, a beautiful set of 10. It has a slide out frame and, you know, a big wooden circle, and also a showcase box as well. It's like our really top collection. We probably sell it once or twice a year. It's a very, very elaborate collection. Most people choose between sort of 3 and 30 digital images. That's probably kind of the main thing, because you know, you might also want to do photos next year, and then, you know, so as long as you've got the digital photos of the prints that you've got, then that's it. So we just don't want there to be any misconceptions that paying for a photo shoot means that you get all of the digital photos. So another reason we don't love to give all the digitals is because, not because we don't want you to have them all, but just the sheer editing cost of trying to edit, you know, 200, 300, 400 photos would just be insane.
Yeah.
So I think that that's another reason why, you know, we help you get it down to your favorites. It's, the value thing, you know, things that are scarce have more value, and knowing that you've really made an educated decision. But we would never give unedited photos.
No.
And the reason that is because, not that we're not proud of our photos, you know, as they are straight out of the camera, or that, you know, that you don't love them just as they are, but, you know, we also have a brand to look after, and we want to make sure that, like, our absolute best work is going to you, and, you know, making sure that you are getting that luxury product and not something that's unfinished.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You know, and then there's the flow on of effect of, you know, what happens if you then share those unedited photos, and then that becomes kind of like our portfolio and what people think the quality of our product is.
Yes.
And, you know, because you will see the unedited photos when you're here. We're unlike other photographers in that way, that we do show you. A lot of photographers won't even show you unedited photos.
Yeah.
Whereas we do, because we want you to have that same day experience, and we know that we do a really great job, you know, straight out of camera. So all of our photographers are very experienced, and, you know, all of our photos are, you know, you do get the occasional out of focus one, but mostly it's pretty good. And, you know, you get a blinky one every now and then. You know, some little kid has their finger in their nose, and those things are just funny.
And the great thing with seeing the raw photos is a lot of photographers, the reason they're showing you edited photos is because they've literally gone through, culled out the photos that they think that you won't love. They've edited only the ones that they want to show you and that they think is good. But ultimately, the amount of times that we have our big, you know, Whopper album cover with a photo on it that I personally, as a photographer, probably would have deleted from the pack, and, you know, the client's gone, oh, I love that face expression my baby pulls, that's what he does every morning, or that's what he does in the night when he's, you know, got some funny thing in his brain or whatever, and he will do, like, you know, some funny expression, and we just think, like, that's not the photo we would leave in there, but you guys love it. And so it's really nice to see people choose photos that we ultimately probably would have taken out.
Yeah, and that's how you see so much personality coming out on our feed, and we do get those candid moments because you guys are picking the photos that are the most you and the most unique you. And, you know, if you're a really fun family, maybe you want that photo of, like, little Timmy with his finger up his nose sticking his tongue out, and another mum would be like, no, I really don't like that, but I do like the little one of her, like, nestling, like, so, you know, everybody is different, and that's why some people say to us, well, why do we come to this viewing appointment and there's still 600 photos to look at? And it's like, because everybody is different, and we don't presume to know what you're gonna love.
Yes. That's good.
Yes. Okay, so just to sum up, you can't just get all the digitals. You can get a lot of digitals, but you know, you want to make sure that they're carefully curated. They're always going to be edited, and the session fee doesn't include all the digitals, which is a common misconception. Just to clear that up.
Yeah, great.
So next I'll ask you, Celeste, about our terms and conditions, rescheduling, all of that stuff that is kind of the nitty-gritty of the business, but that everyone needs to know. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, the boring but the important is what we like to call it. So on every one of our adverts, if you've ever come through an ad of ours on Facebook or Instagram, or if you happen to find us on the website, we do have our little, you know, must read, boring but important link, and that is that, you know, I guess essentially what covers behind the scenes of why we need to have a policy and terms and conditions which cover, you know, the very disinteresting, very, very important refunds, reschedules, and how that all works and what that looks like and why it's important essentially, and how it benefits not just us as a company, but it does benefit you guys as clients as well. So I guess we'll touch base in that order. So with refunds, this is something that I guess applies slightly differently, whether we're looking at like a booking fee. So when you're coming in the door and you're booking something, you know, that's paying for, I guess, your entry fee into the studio, and then, you know, refunds looking at when you've actually made a purchase of a package or a collection, and how those both kind of work, and if there's any wiggle room or flexibility around them. Ultimately, we are basically a no refunds at all sort of a studio, but we do understand that sometimes, you know, the date that you've booked or things like that doesn't always work out, or there might be extreme situations, and I guess covering those, because if in the back of your mind thinking, oh, I might not book a newborn session right now because what if something happens to my baby, most unfortunate event that could ever happen or something like that, and I'm not going to get my money back. Obviously that's where, you know, ultimately just straight off the bat, we're not cold, you know, unfeeling people. We have hearts, and we're mums, you know, or understanding around kids, you know, and life and family life. It happens. So that's ultimately just to get that out the way. You know, if we're looking at a refund of a booking fee, we're going to be a little bit more flexible when there's extreme situations that prevent you from being able to come in. And then if it's more of a sickness, or it's a thing like where just that, you know, that week's not worked out for you, or something really major has come up, you know, ideally we don't love it when you cancel on the day if you can help it. But, you know, that's where a reschedule policy comes into play, and that would look more like a fee to change your date to a new date, which that little fee can be credited towards something when you come in. So we're not going to take that, you know, out of your hands for good, but we are going to put it towards something like a package or a photo or a print when you come back. And again, usually that's worst case scenario, you're cancelling on the day, or, you know, not giving us more than kind of 48 hours notice. Kind of anything up until like 7 days before, if you give us notice, we're most happy to not charge that reschedule fee, and so long that we can replace that date. So they're kind of like the two main things for like the booking and the rescheduling policy. And then refunds on packages, I think that's a little bit different. Again, maybe Paige, you can cover that.
Yeah, so once you've come in, you've had your package, obviously we've already done a lot of work on it. So when you come in, you'll notice that at the end of your session, we get you to sign what's called a sales final form, and we give you your time to read over it. And basically what it says is that all the photos go into production the same day, because as a creative business, it's really, really difficult if people go away and then they have a change of heart, because you know, it's not like you've just gone into a shop and you've made a whimsical purchase. Like, you have spent probably like a month or two. We've spent probably a month or two preparing for it. Then you come in, you do your session itself, and then we give you like several hours to go through and have a look at everything and choose everything. So we know that it's not just like a split decision that you've made. You know, we've really had to talk about it. You've made an educated choice, and you've picked what you want and what you love. And then right at the end of it all, like just like after you've paid and we're about to send you home, we get you to sign a little sales final form saying that you can't return your photos, basically. Because we have a lot of people saying you can't just say no refunds. Yes. But the difference is that a refund is for things that are in resellable condition, right? So basically that means that we can't resell your photos, because even though your photos are beautiful, nobody else can own your photos. Yeah. So yeah, we can't resell them, so they're non-refundable. So what that means is if you go home and you have a change of heart, we can like upgrade your package to give you a little more value if you wanted to have a few more photos. As I said, we don't always guarantee that we keep them for long periods of time. You do have to make a decision on the day of the viewing appointment, because that's the whole point of the viewing appointment. But yeah, unfortunately there's no refunds, no takesies, backsies. So yeah, just make sure that like on the day you're very happy with what you've decided, and from that point forward, like yeah, you're contractually obligated to make continuous payments if you have signed up for a payment plan, or if you paid upfront, well then that's even better. You probably got a better deal. And also you know, we just can't be refunding thousands and thousands of dollars for, you know, or hundreds of dollars or whatever it is for something that we've already created for you, and we can't resell.
And so I think from a legality perspective, I think people want to know, and I think just to understand as a business, we're not blindfolded to these things. You know, I've been in the business 7 years, so we have done our thorough research and made all the calls that are essential to not just support, you know, what we want to do, but ultimately to make sure, legality, we're doing the right thing. So, you know, a lot of people who have, I guess, had this change of mind, and let's just be honest, it is a handful. We're not talking about, you know, even 1 in 10 that are unhappy, but you know, the 1s and 2s that are over the course of the 7 years that we've done this, I guess the background for them is that they're thinking, oh, the ACCC will support me, or Consumer Affairs will support me, and we get those horrible and not very friendly threats, which is sad, especially when we have, you know, bonded with you guys for like 4 or 5 hours, and then you kind of turn around and kind of got that backlash, and it's a very sad experience. But it does happen, and I guess just for the 1s and 2s that are either thinking they're in this boat right now, or potentially could be, or they just want to know, like, how does that work? We have, you know,
made sure that we've done our research, because we don't want to be, you know, getting you to sign contracts that aren't valid, or, you know, trying to beat around the bush and do the wrong thing. So it's just for your peace of mind to know that, yeah, essentially, because we are a creative industry, we work totally different than, yeah, like Harvey Norman, where you're buying a washing machine and then you change your mind, or, you know, they're going to have their own policies and things that are for them. And for us, actually the proof in the pudding is that when we have had anyone who's been concerned and gone to, say, perhaps report us or anything like that, the time and time again, what ACCC and these other companies that look after this element of the creative sphere see is that we've spent so much time with you, and this hasn't been it's not door to door. We're not here trying to get you to sign something on the spot. Like, you really have, like what Paige said, and that goes into the depth of just genuinely how much effort we care to put in, because we're not here to rush anything, and that's the last thing we want is anyone feeling rushed. And so ultimately that's what they're going to look at, and they're going to go, yeah, you guys really have made that informed decision. That's another reason we ask for that questionnaire to be filled out. I know it can be tedious, but we really do love you guys to fill that out so that we have a good understanding of what you want before you come in, because that's something we really touch base on when we're in our appointment. We're going to look at those colour tones, we're going to look at, you know, everything that you'd said on your questionnaire you might like and love to have, because that's how we help you make those final decisions. So
yeah, we're not going to sell you something you don't want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, well, more than 9 times out of 10 people walk away and they're happy, and more often it's people calling us to say, you know, can we add photos, and sometimes we can if it hasn't been too long since your shoot, or if you've let us know that might be the case. So yeah, it is important just to make sure that you know that you've made a good decision. So I guess the only other thing I would touch on is the reason why we need to charge for things like reschedules and refunds, because, you know, as Celeste mentioned right at the very, very start of this segment, is that it's not just for us to protect us as a business, but it is for you guys as well. And you're probably wondering, well, how does that make sense? It's probably because if we're not here as a business to exist for all of the mums of Adelaide, you know, so if we have to refund every person that wants to schedule because the weather's bad, or because, you know, their kid's crying, or something that is just very normal and easy to be absolved with a simple reschedule, if we're refunding all of those things, and we're not going to be here very long as a business to provide this service, you know, to everybody else that wants it. So yeah, please, you know, consider your photo shoot like a commitment. You know, this is something that you've committed to. There are always the unforeseen things that, you know, you don't know are going to happen. You know, you could get COVID, or you could, you know, get some sort of family emergency, and that's why the reschedule is there in place. And more often than not, we don't charge a reschedule fee unless it's like the day of or the day before. But, you know, if you are giving us 7 days notice, you know, someone's got called into work or something like that, but please just don't double book, forget, or just change your mind, or not feel like it on the day and then expect a refund.
And we do try to confirm, you know, within the week as well, so that gives you peace of mind, like we are taking responsibility to remind you, but we do appreciate that kind of little bit of effort to have it in your calendars as well, and set your alarms ready to get ready for the big day.
So just building on that little segment again, I know that was probably very boring for everybody to watch, but it is, again, one of those boring but important. Like you said, the terms and conditions are on our website, they're on your contract, they're on our ads, and I know that it's linked with the privacy policy, and that's actually a law of Facebook. That's not because we're trying to hide the terms and conditions, is because they literally say we have to have a privacy policy. You know, just to make sure you guys are not getting your information thrown around to third parties and things like that, which we of course do not do. So yeah, that's all in there as well, and people sometimes don't read terms and conditions. Greatest lie ever told, I agree, and read to the terms and conditions, but it is important, and we really make sure that we put the most important stuff at the top, so even if you have a skimmer that you're still going to see
the most important.
Unfortunately, as a business, we just have to believe that you have read the terms and conditions. If you have not, then sorry. So people sometimes ask us, okay, we'll just keep our booking fee, why do I have to pay a cancellation fee as well? So I think that would be a good one for you to answer.
See, booking fees, they vary so much depending on the special offers, people coming in the door through a giveaway, runner-up prize, or you know, booking through our site, you know, they can range anywhere from like $80 or like an expo or something, we might do a $50
special, all the way through to that $3.95 kind of price point. And I guess the difference is what that includes and what that entails is so different per booking fee, that you really have just invested in like the entry into the studio. You haven't, you know, come around and picked your package and made a full purchase yet. So we're entrusting and entailing that booking fee is a commitment, and it's something that therefore we can guarantee as, you know, income for as a business. So, you know, if we're booking you in the calendar, or if we've got a week full of shoots, and like we said, we kind of need that 6 to 8 shoots per week to really keep this business running and thriving, we're dependent on your booking as like you're definitely coming in, and that's going to be income for that week. And if it's not, then someone else could have come in and perhaps, you know, spent their money with us, which would have counted as income for the company. And so when you don't come in, or like last minute you just want to cancel altogether, your booking fee essentially, for the most part, it usually just covers very basic wages, or to be honest, like we're looking at really nitty gritty, behind every ad click is, you know, a $30 to $50 spend just for you clicking the ad, and that's not even if you've booked. So everyone that clicks our ad, it just costs money. So it's boring, but it's important, because essentially it's just the bare minimums. And then if we're thinking about our week and we go, okay, now we've, you know, had 4 or 5 people cancel, we want to keep this business alive and running for you guys. So essentially that's where our cancellation comes in. So our cancellation fee is $190. It sounds like a lot, but we're not wanting you to spend that. And the reason we have it there is so to incentivize, actually it's better for you to reschedule, because a reschedule fee is $150. You can come back anytime within 12 months. We would love to have you. Please don't cancel. Please don't love and leave us. And you can actually take that off anything you like. So we're not going to take that money from you. Whereas a cancellation fee, you literally lose that money. And that's never going to be returned to you, and, you know, it can't be reused. So we don't actually want you to pay a cancellation fee. It's there to give you the understanding as to why we really value that booking fee being important and committed to. So.
Well, thanks for sitting here with us today, guys. It's been a long video, and we are going to put chapters in it so you can timestamp what you have seen. And we hopefully, I'm not sure anyone will watch like the whole video, but you know, we are just some like talking heads on a couch here, aren't we? But that's a little bit of a back end to our business. And if you'd like for us to go into more detail, or if you want a little bit more information on a particular topic, or if there's something we haven't covered, that we haven't covered, that you would like to know a little more about, or if there was something you thought were a bit vague on and you want a little more nitty gritty, I think this is the channel to do that on. I don't think we'll be doing that on our socials or our Facebook or anything like that. So, you know, this is here for the deep divers, you know, the researching introverts who end up being our absolute best clients, because, you know, they've gone and they've done their research, they know exactly what to expect, and they come in walking in knowing us already. So now this is videos for you guys, you know, on your couches, on your phones, late at night, watching us jabber on. So
hope we've been entertaining in some way.
And informational.
And informational, yes. Right. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you again in the studio, I'm sure. Bye.